Let's talk about artificial intelligence. This is not only a very big deal for Tesla right now, but it's kind of a big deal for humanity in general. The implementation of AI into our daily lives is going to be a make or break moment for society. Either this propels us into a new golden era, or it literally ruins everything, and there might not be very much space in between. It's not like AI is just going to become a passing fad that we all lose interest in and toss in the closet alongside our other failed hobbies. For better or worse, the groundwork has already been laid for the next technological revolution to rise on the power of artificial intelligence. We know that Tesla is right at the forefront of this revolution. They are an undeniable leader in the field of real-world AI, which is a very big deal that too many people still underestimate. Sure, it's great fun to have an AI that can make you a picture of an octopus riding a bicycle, but having an AI that can literally take control over a 4,000-pound vehicle and navigate it through random chaos that is human traffic at speeds up to 85 miles per hour, that's the kind of technology that can change the world. So, with Tesla's second AI day on the horizon and the integration of artificial intelligence into our daily lives in full swing, we're going to try and get a slightly better grasp on how this is all going to play out, the good and the bad, and put that into terms that our feeble, non-expert brains can comprehend. So, let's get going. I want to start off with this tweet from Elon Musk because I think this kind of sums up the gravity of the whole situation. This is in response to a tweet from Whole Mars Catalog that discussed BMW transitioning their autonomous driving from Mobileye over to Qualcomm. There's some secondary drama here with this Dan O'Dowd character, but that's besides the point right now. So, Elon writes, "They have no idea how hard FSD is. Only path to success, IMO, is hardcore real-world AI software with dedicated NN inference, acceleration, ASICs in-car, multi-billion-dollar NN training supercluster, and 10 plus billion miles of vehicle data. Good luck." End quote. That middle section is a bit tricky. He's trying to fit this all in one tweet. Dedicated neural network acceleration, ASICs in the car, is the FSD computer that comes with every single Tesla. Whether you purchase full self-driving or not, the technology is still baked into the car. An ASIC is an application-specific integrated circuit, so it's a computer chip that is custom designed for a specific purpose. Generally, we hear about ASICs in the context of cryptocurrency mining. You can go out and buy a $10,000 ASIC Bitcoin miner, and in return, you get an incredibly powerful machine that serves one purpose: mining Bitcoin. Whereas a general purpose chip, like an RTX 3090, can definitely mine Bitcoin pretty well, but it can also play video games and edit videos. The key takeaway here is that there is no silver bullet solution to an AI-driven autonomous vehicle. It's not just about the software or the hardware or the training. These three factors need to equally support the weight of autonomous driving. That's where a lot of people get hung up. You need the holistic approach. That's why a company like NVIDIA might think they can just step into the ring with an autonomous vehicle program because they have the best hardware. And objectively, they probably do, but they're fighting with just one arm because they don't have the real-world AI software, and they don't have nearly enough vehicle data. And it's hard to blame other companies for thinking that they can skip real-world AI and data training and just go straight to autonomous driving, because even Elon Musk didn't fully grasp this until very recently. Most people remember Tesla's Autonomy Day back in April 2019, when Elon famously said that Tesla would have 1 million self-driving robotaxis on the roads by mid-2020. Now, a lot of us had hopes and dreams for the year 2020 that didn't quite work out because of obvious virus-related reasons, but Elon Musk's robotaxi vision didn't come true because he didn't grasp the weight of the problem he was trying to solve. And that's because Elon is an engineer and a programmer, and on paper, from a math and engineering standpoint, making a self-driving car shouldn't be that hard. It just needs to be able to stop and go and turn left and turn right while obeying the traffic laws and not hitting anything. In theory, driving is simple. In practice, driving a car is an absolute shit show. We as human beings collectively suck at this activity, even with trillions of dollars invested in road infrastructure that literally tells us where to drive, when to drive, and how fast to drive. Even with layer on layer of safety features and airbags and driver assist software, the streets are still paved with blood and mangled bodies. This is why NVIDIA can make a self-driving car that performs flawlessly on a closed road with no traffic, because they do have fantastic hardware and software that can operate the car perfectly within their defined parameters. But they wouldn't dare throw that same car into the meat grinder that is city traffic at rush hour, because at that point, the defined parameters go out the window, and the car has to fend for itself in an environment of sheer chaos and unbridled aggression. So humans ruin everything, and it took Elon Musk a couple of years to realize that, but he eventually did come around. This is illustrated pretty well in a tweet from July 2021 when he wrote, "Generalized self-driving is a hard problem as it requires solving a large part of real-world AI. Didn't expect it to be so hard, but the difficulty is obvious in retrospect." Everything is obvious in retrospect. That's how we as human beings learn things. First we screw it up, then we recognize what went wrong, and then we adjust for the future. Sometimes it takes multiple cycles of failing and readjusting to truly get to the right solution. Also wanted to give a quick shout out to our amazing Discord community. Here is our question of the week, and this was our favorite answer. And here is the meme of the week winner. Join our Discord community to participate next week through the link in the description below. And that's where this dude, Andre Karpathy, comes in. He has this skill set and the perspective that Elon Musk does not. Andre got his start at Google working on deep learning and computer vision for YouTube. We all know that YouTube has an AI algorithm, not a very good one, but it is constantly scanning for content that it believes to either be in violation of YouTube guidelines or copyright law. Andre then moved to Google's DeepMind AI division, where he continued to work on machine learning. He graduated with a PhD from Stanford University, having written a thesis on computer vision and natural language processing. An example of that would be translating images to language, and then conversely retrieving images based on natural language queries, which just so happens to be the same idea behind everyone's favorite online toy of the moment, DALL-E Mini. I made a bear riding a spaceship to Mars. Well, I guess DALL-E Mini did. Anyway, after a brief stint at OpenAI, which was co-founded by Elon Musk, Andre ended up at Tesla in 2017, where he is the Senior Director of Artificial Intelligence and leads the computer vision team for Tesla Autopilot. Andre describes his work on LinkedIn by writing, "The team is focused on all aspects of, number 1, data gathering, in-house data labeling, and custom labeling interfaces. Number 2, neural network training. Number 3, the science of making it work. And number 4, deployment in production running on our custom chip." So this is why Tesla's Autonomy Day from 2019 became Tesla AI Day in 2021, because there is no autonomy without AI. And this is why during AI Day, we saw Andre doing the bulk of talking and explaining, while Elon hung back and functioned as an MC for the event. Most of what Andre says is very technical and hard to understand, but I want to come back to this tweet that he wrote in March of this year, because it tells us something very important about solving autonomous driving. I'm not going to try and read this out word for word and number by number, but what he's saying here is that a new and very small AI language model called Chinchilla, which uses 70 billion parameters, has been able to outperform much larger language models like one called Gopher that uses 280 billion parameters. And Andre writes, go smaller, train longer. So what does all that mean? The article that he links is basically weighing the value of training data for a language model versus the value of the model size. And what they concluded was that a smaller model that is given more training data will outperform a larger model that is given less training data. So Chinchilla versus Gopher, Gopher has 4 times more parameters, but when they fed Chinchilla 4 times more training data than they fed Gopher, Chinchilla not only matched Gopher in results, but it actually significantly outperformed Gopher. Chinchilla also beat GPT-3, Jurassic 1, and even Megatron Turing NLG, which uses 530 billion parameters. Still following? This is by far the most complicated part, but this is what really drives it all home. A larger amount of training data will handily beat a larger amount of software code. This is why Tesla is the leader in autonomy and will continue to be the leader, because no amount of software can make up for Tesla's lead in data collection. A competitor will never be able to come up from behind and code their way to victory without the training data to back it up. This is why Tesla AI Day in 2021 was so focused on neural net training. This is why Tesla designed and built the Dojo supercomputer for the specific purpose of neural net training. Remember the training tiles and training mat? And this is why Tesla put the entire full self-driving system into every single car, regardless of whether the owner is paying to use it or not, because the value of the data that is being generated by that system far exceeds the cost of installing it. It's like Elon says, the only way to solve real-world autonomous AI driving is with billions and billions of miles of real-world data. And the only way to get that data is by collecting it from millions of cars all at once and then processing it with a massively powerful, dedicated training computer. Tesla is literally the only company talking about this. Everyone else wants you to believe that some magic combination of hardware and software and LiDAR and whatever other secret sauce will just make it work. But so far, that has not proven to be true. And based on everything that we've learned, it doesn't seem like that can ever be true. If we are ever going to have a fully autonomous vehicle that can function alongside human drivers, then it needs to train alongside human drivers, and it needs to train hard, because we are a goddamn nightmare to deal with. Anyway, hopefully that all made sense. This was by far one of the hardest videos we've made in a while, so if you happen to be a person who is an expert in AI, please feel free to let us know what we got right and got wrong. I'm sure there's a lot that we missed. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up today if you liked it. That is so important for getting our content out to more people. If you enjoy the content, then you'd probably also enjoy our weekly newsletter, so sign up with the link down below at theteslaspace.com. A huge thank you to all of our Patreon supporters who are listed on the screen now. You help us make the best content we can, and we really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.